Everyone could use some help with some legal advice from time to time, and we have the perfect law firm to help.
We do. Laura Dellutri is here to introduce you to the law office of St. Surin and Caruthers. Good morning. I'm here with Gishard St. Surin, CEO of law firm of St. Surin and Caruthers, and Janice Caruthers, who is the COO. I want to thank you for being here this morning, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's a pleasure, as always. And I'm not an attorney, but you two are. And today we're talking about custody, time sharing. I'm so confused. What is the difference? I'm hearing this different term now. Can you tell me about that?
Well, a few years ago, the law changed to now we call it time sharing rather than custody.
Okay.
So while most individuals are used to hearing the word custody, the law changed to reflect time sharing. Now, when I think of time sharing, I think of, vacationing, have a timeshare in Orlando,
me too, yes.
or a beach house, or, in California or something.
Sure.
So, I guess it's a joke that kids can tell their friends, where's your vacation home? Well, I have my time sharing with my mother this week, or with my father.
That's funny.
But essentially, it's just a terminology change where it's the same thing as shared parental responsibilities, where it determines, how much time the child spends with each parent, and also calculates the overnight stays, as well as it puts a defined schedule for holiday schedules too.
Sure. Sure. Now, is there an assumption for 50-50 time sharing?
In Florida, there is not an assumption, and everything is based on the best interest of the child.
Okay.
So whichever parent has the main responsibilities for school, it also determines based on their work schedule. There's a whole list of factors they consider, but it really comes down to the best interest of the child.
Okay, so what are some of the factors that play into that when they are considering developing that time schedule, sharing schedule?
Well, like Janice said, the main thing that the court looks at is what is in the best interest of the child.
Yes.
And making that determination, they look at all different factors. And some of those factors are, well, what is the relationship like with the parents?
Right, that's important.
Yes, and which parent is going to allow the child to develop and foster a continuous relationship with the other parent.
Right.
So if a parent is bad-mouthing the other parent,
it's not good,
and not allowing the son or daughter to go see the other parent, then the court looks highly unfavorable upon that.
Yes,
and
it's not healthy.
Not healthy at all.
No.
And also if there were any domestic violence issues.
Yes, that's a big deal.
Or drug or alcohol abuse issues, that becomes a big factor as well. If the parent is not physically or mentally capable of caring for the child without some type of supervision.
Yes, and I think that that's one thing I love about our court system. It's all about the best interests of the child. It's not about the parents.
Yes.
And that leads me to my next question. I mean, can the time sharing be modified once it's in place? Can they change that? And what would determine that?
Well, it can be modified basically if there is a substantial change in circumstances. So if one parent, for example, has a job that now requires them to work night shifts, and then they're not available when the child is home from school, or things of that nature, the parenting schedule can be changed, as well as if the child becomes older, maybe their school obligations change, or their after-school activities, or things of that nature. It can evolve as the child grows.
Right. So it's not all written in stone, that's for sure. Now, what if, and this happens, you did bring this up, what if the parents just don't get along?
Well, if the parents don't get along, there are several things. Well, first thing that I do with any initial consultation is I make sure that the parents leave with a nice little goodie bags. And as part of the goodie bag, we include one of the judges in our circuit wrote a fabulous piece that talks about, time sharing and how it's in the best interest of the child and what they look for. And so if they hear from someone else other than their attorney, maybe it will sink in more. And also what I like to give to them is give them, a Snickers bar. Well, why a Snickers bar? Well, you're not you when you're hungry. So I tried to remind them, you know,
funny.
you're not you when you're going through a divorce.
Yes,
You know, so,
that's so
the Snickers to remind them, look, you have to be patient and try to be reasonable.
Yes.
And then also, the court does not like it when you badmouth the other parent. So what I do is I give them a pack of Orbit gum. You know, dirty mouth, clean it up. So it's the same thing where, you know,
That's
it reminds
great.
them again.
That's great.
And if all else fails, there are services in place, such as parenting coordinator, which will help them facilitate the time sharing and the shared parental responsibilities.
And they don't have to get along to drop the child off. They could simply pull into the yard, blow the horn,
Yes.
things of that nature. They don't have to even communicate if it's that bad. But what we come into an issue is when it comes to parental responsibility, which means who makes the decision for the child as to what school the child's going to go to, healthcare issues, religious issues.
Very important.
Those issues the parents have to agree, and if they can't agree, then the courts will pretty much designate one parent to have the sole responsibility for making those decisions. But that's a very extreme situation. Most of the time, they can work it out and get along and focus on the children and what's best for the child.
That's really good advice. Well, thank you so much for talking to us about time sharing. And for those of you who are listening and watching the show today, you can actually get a free consultation from these two. All you have to do, the special offer, is mention the Morning Blend and receive a free initial consultation. You can call 239-288-7664. And I just want to thank you both for being on the show. And for you to find out more information about the Law Office of St. Surin and Caruthers, log on to our website, fox4morningblend.com.